so I'm a rebel and rogue, and I'm always on the run. With a fire inside, I ain't ever gonna die. I'm a locked and loaded gun. When the matches strike and the gasoline lights, it's only just begun. One thing I learned is you could watch it all burn, but the flame ain't ever done. Raise 'em up a little higher. They're riders, outlaws and outsiders. Some call me a renegade, the enemy. Throw your hands up if you feel the same. Oh, living life at the edge. Just say what you wanna say, or walk away. I'll stand tall when there's hell to pay. Ain't no power higher. We're the outlaws and outsiders.
Hello, Chickasaw. Glad to see we finally got another one of these out there. That's right, it's time to come back at you. It's the Fence Guy. I know it's been a while since our last video, and I'm sorry it's been taking so long, but due with everything going on, I felt that it was time to take a break from this for a little while. I'd like to go over some of the things. Of course, it's been 1 year since the last election, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff to go over because I'm going to try and go ahead and see if we can discuss everything that's happened in Chickasaw for the past year as far as our council's gone with our new mayor and city council. And I also want to give a shout out to all the employees here in Chickasaw. They've been doing a phenomenal job of taking care of things. We've got our new trash service in, and since they've been going up and down the alleys, cutting the tree branches down so all the trucks can get through so that they can come in and hopefully do a lot better job than our last trash companies did. And of course, this would have probably helped them out at the end, but it is what it is. We have a new trash company in there, and we went ahead and outsourced something else here that we could have probably taken care of ourselves. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of issues here in Chickasaw that have been going on, COVID issues. We've had a lot of people getting sick from COVID lately, and we're going to go ahead and address that as well as some of the things that's going on, the good and the bad of Chickasaw. And we're going to probably go ahead and start off at the campaign because that's where it all began. And so let's go ahead and get started with that right now. This building right here is the heart of Chickasaw. This is where our courthouse is. This is where we pay our water, our trash bill, and our sewer bill. This is where the mayor's office is. All decisions that are made in Chickasaw are made right here in this building. We have some great employees that work here. They're always there to help you whenever you need something like public records or questions about your bill or anything like that. Behind this building is the rest of where the employees work, the mechanic shop. It's where they house the police station, and all the employees that help us and do an awesome job taking care of our community. Last election was a rough election. There's no doubt about it. There was a lot of mudslinging, a lot of things that were said about both sides of the fence. They had the A-team started by Adam Bourne back in January of last year. When I sat with him at Whataburger and had a conversation with him, he explained to me that him and Jennifer White decided they were going to run again. And they didn't think that Byron Pittman was going to be our mayor any longer, and that they were endorsing Barry Broadhead. Barry hadn't decided whether or not he was going to run at that time, but that's the one that Adam thought would be the best fit for our mayor, and that was going to be the one that he was going to endorse. The reason why I think he was going to endorse Barry is because Barry cannot make decisions. Barry, during the election, was quiet for the most part. He did not debate. We had preachers and citizens asking for all the candidates to meet at one place, like a town hall, give them 5 minutes to discuss their plans for the future of Chickasaw and their outlook on it, and give them a chance for everybody to be able to sit down and talk with the candidates that were running for the election. Barry declined. Barry declined any debates. Barry didn't say anything much to anybody. Instead, the people that spoke for Barry was Adam Bourne, Ken Stewart, and some supporters of theirs in the community. We did have one person that decided they were going to go try to talk to Barry, and this is what happened whenever he did.
Just got here. How are you doing, Mr. Smith? It's nice to meet you in person. You doing okay?
Hello.
I'm Elizabeth Morales, the one you love to hate.
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
Well, It's nice to finally
Why don't
meet you
you
since you've never met me.
Come up
Right.
here and get an ice cream.
No, it's okay.
Oh, come
I
on.
don't need it. I just came to ask questions.
Okay.
That's all.
They're right here.
That's all.
They're right here. Ask questions at the same time. What questions you got, they'll answer. So.
Well, no, not always they don't, because they block people from their page.
Well, they can't block you right now.
What is it?
Exactly why I'm here.
Okay. Well,
They have several people blocked from their page.
you know,
Well,
there's been so much that's been bad that sometimes you just can't deal with all of it.
Right, but I just asked about trash service, and everybody knows trash service is like a big deal here.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, if they didn't have an answer, they could have just said they don't have an answer. They didn't have to block me and delete my comment.
I don't know, but
You know, I can't understand why any candidate would support censorship.
censorship.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if that would be censorship, but
Well, I mean, if you're deleting my comment and you're blocking what I would say, you're not trying to listen to anything that I have, any of my questions. Wouldn't you consider that censorship?
I mean, if you're sitting there, I don't know the circumstances, so I can't say.
Right.
Barry went ahead and decided to come out from his car, and when Will Smith walked up to him and was trying to ask him questions about the trash. The reason why was Barry was in charge of our trash right before the election, and we had so many issues with the trash that they were trying to get a new trash company in at that time before the election, instead of listening to Bill Vallen. We had made a proposal for them, and we had offered it to them at council meetings, and the only thing we got back from them was he needed to submit it to the mayor. Now, that was just one instance of people jumping in and answering for Barry and talking for Barry. The first thing he did when he became mayor was stop us all from speaking out at the council meetings as well, so he wouldn't have to answer any questions. And he did that with this minutes from the council meeting at that time, the first set of minutes from his first time as mayor in office. There were a lot of things that he did change, and one of them was how to contact the city hall and how to contact him. If you had questions for the mayor, all you had to do was go down to City Hall, fill out a piece of paper, and send it to him and mail it in, and that they would go ahead and address it at the next council meeting. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. In the past year that he's been in office, this would be where those emails should be brought up, and they're not in any minutes, any email from anybody. Now, some people that are friends of his have stated that he has answered their emails, but again, they're friends of his, friends of the council, they're supporters. They'll answer questions to. If you're not a supporter, you don't agree with what they're doing, you get no response back from them. The only other thing that they would do would go ahead and give you, hold on one second, there we go. The only thing that they would have under this was when they were talking about someone's position in the city, like if a firefighter decided they were going to quit in good standing, or a police officer. Almost every month we have where somebody resigned from the city and moved on. Incidentally, since all this has began, getting minutes from the meeting has been next to impossible. We've been waiting since, I believe it was June. What does it say? June the 8th of this year, since the last minutes were posted on the city website, as you can see right there. There's no updates to the minutes. And so we don't know what's been going on since June the 8th, unless you actually went to the meeting. When I went to the meeting, there's maybe 2 or 3 people there, and they're saying, well, people don't come to the meetings. Well, if we can't speak at the meetings any longer, why would we go just to sit there and listen to them come out and tell us what they decided? If they were going to discuss it, I'd say, yeah, there's a reason to go. But they don't discuss anything in the minutes. They come out, they say, this is what's on the board, let's vote. And of course, everybody agrees. Now, again, in 1 year, not one councilman has disagreed with the decisions that are being made in the city. They have agreed 100% on everything. Not one person has said nay since it all began. Since they've been in office, they've been passing all kinds of ordinances like this one right here. This is a right to enter. What that means is that a city inspector is allowed to enter your house with or without your permission. if they believe that something's going on in your house, but that shouldn't. If your neighbor reports you, it's as simple as that. All the neighbor's got to do is pick up a phone and say, hey, I think this is going on, or I've seen this going on. Then they can come in your house and invade your privacy. Another thing that they passed in the middle of the pandemic when everything was going bad, and you were only supposed to vote on necessities for the community. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. What they decided to do was go ahead and pass this. New curtains, $12,000 worth of curtains so that they could have a luncheon that would be nice and pretty whenever the people came for lunch. Let's continue. The next thing he did. Let's go ahead with the fines. Even jail. You can go to jail for not paying your bill. Let's say you didn't pay your sewer bill or your trash bill. You could go ahead and get a misdemeanor charge on that because of what they passed. Now, I understand people probably think, well, that can't happen. That would never happen. I don't know if anybody's taken a look at their sewer bill lately, but 3 weeks ago, I went onto the PSN website, and this is what I seen. It says I have a credit of $120, I believe that is. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. And then on the 13th, I went ahead and looked again on PSN to see what it was. That disappeared. It also states that I don't owe any money right on the 13th of the month when the $70 bill is due. I did get a bill in the mail that says I owed $70. And I'm not the only one that this has happened to. I've been looking on Facebook, and this has happened to a lot of people. So if you look at this and you don't pay, and you don't look at your mail or your paper bill, then you're going to think that you don't have to pay the bill, that you might have paid an extra bill or something, or it got messed up or something. So you don't pay the bill. What do you think the next thing the city council is going to do? They're going to hit you with a misdemeanor because you didn't pay your bill. And they're legally, they can do that according to the ordinance that they paid. Now, I'm sure you can go to court and that's going to get thrown out because that's just something else that they went ahead and passed on their own. Another way to bully people, because if you think about it, somebody's got a choice between getting food or going to jail. Well, if you go to jail, you can't get money to go buy food. So most people are going to go ahead and pay this bill. And even Jim Hansen explained that it was a great thing because more people are paying their bill now than before. Yeah, that's great. It's called bullying. Okay, it's something you shouldn't be doing to your citizens. Let's continue on. The next thing, we had a generator donated to us from Shell for our fire department. One that didn't go to the fire department. Instead, it went to the school. A high school, which when it's a storm going or something like that, they close that down. It's not even a place for us to go in the event that we need a shelter to run to. We don't go to the school. But like I said, I've got to give credit where credit is due. And we did get this nice Jeep EMS truck that in the event that we need it during the time that we're not in an emergency, and somebody calls 911 and requests EMS, this Jeep right here can go out there and take care of first aid and stuff like that, whatever they need done. So like I said, I'm glad that they got this. I'm glad that they're thinking ahead. It's a beautiful move. So I have no complaints on that. Like I said, the only thing I wish they would have done was give the fire department the generator that's going to be needed, because if somebody is on oxygen or something like that and needs electricity and all the power's out, like that big hurricane we had a while back where everybody lost electricity for 3 or 4 days. There are people that are on concentrators for oxygen, and if they can't plug up, they can't use their concentrator. So again, like I said, it would have been nice if we would have spent the money on a generator. Another thing that they were working on as an ordinance was animal control. And they had a discussion and decided that they were going to go ahead and charge people for having dogs, not cats, just dogs. And when they first presented it to the community, the payout on that was outrageous. Matter of fact, we had one of the most expensive dog licenses in the country. And we had the most expensive in Alabama. I think we're like 3rd or 4th in the country. The good thing about that was not only was people that were for the council or against the council, that's the one time that everybody came together and decided to discuss it and tell the council, hey, look, this is wrong. This is outrageous. There's no way we should have to pay this kind of money for this. The good news is that Ken Stewart listened, and he came outside and he discussed it with everybody that was at the meeting and said that he'd go ahead and talk to Barry and see if they can go ahead and bring it up on another council meeting, which they did do. Here's the first one that they had, I believe. Hold on. This is where they opened up the discussion for it. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, where a lot of citizens were able to go and discuss the ordinance, and they did decide to bring down the bill on that. It was an open discussion, and again, as it states right here, Barry Broadhead stated that the Animal Council ordinance would be open for discussion and public comment. It's the only time he's been in office that he has allowed public comment at a council meeting. The problem is Barry Broadhead wasn't at this meeting. He decided to sit this one out. So again, the A team, since they've been in office, have done a lot of things I don't agree with. As far as some good things that they did go ahead and bring bikes for kids. That was spearheaded by the fire department and the police department. They did an outstanding job. Of course, the council was there for photo ops. I don't think that everyone's being recognized. There are certain churches in the town that get recognition when they do something. There are certain churches that can be completely ignored. We had one church this summer have a group of people come down from, I think it was Montgomery, to hold a sports camp for a week or two. And it was a success. A lot of the kids in the neighborhood were able to go there and have some fun. Of course, no recognition was given to them. The last major cleanup we had, they also showed up and helped to clean up the city. And of course, once again, they weren't included in that. So I think that recognition for all citizens should be a major priority, not just for the select few. And again, this all goes back to the election. I think if they spent more time working with all the citizens, whether they like them or they don't like them, instead of playing favorites, the city would be a lot better place for us all to live. And I think a lot more people would be willing to volunteer their time. But they spend so much time trying to get even with people that ran against them in the last election and their supporters that they're missing the big picture here. That if we all work together, this community can be better than it is right now. Something else that they've brought up and that's been really good and that I've really liked to see was around last Christmas, some of the citizens started to get recognized by the news and everything else. And Adam had one of his friends from the council, from Congress, go ahead and start recognizing some of the employees that work here. And ever since then, I believe it's like once every couple of weeks we have an announcement talking about some of the employees that work here and the great job they do. And that was a good move, I believe, on the council's part. I really like to see that. They've gone through a lot of the employees, fire department, and people that actually work hard for our community and work hard for us and definitely deserve the recognition that they've gotten. Let's go ahead and move on. What I'd like to do is bring this gentleman up. This is an example of a proactive mayor. When COVID first hit last year, he went ahead and shut down City Hall. He stopped the city council meetings, and he went ahead and closed down City Hall to protect the ladies that worked there due to the fact that they had health issues and COVID was kicked off, and we didn't know a lot about COVID. The vaccine wasn't there for us. We knew we had to wear masks and stuff like that, but he was concerned about the ladies in City Hall and the other avenues or the other departments here in Chickasaw. I know that a lot of people that have issues with this mayor. I know that one of the councilmen referred to him as an absent mayor. He may have been an absent mayor, but at least he thought about the employees that work for our city as well as the citizens. He went above and beyond when it came to their families. If they needed time off for a family matter, they went ahead and got it. They weren't told to, oh, well, see if you can bring your kids in or see if you can work from home or something like that. During the COVID, when it first kicked off, the ladies in the office knew that they were vulnerable. He knew that they were vulnerable, and he did whatever he could to protect them. When the council started to switch over to the new council, they continued with the COVID scare, and the pandemic getting out of control, and they decided not to continue with the council meetings until they felt it was safe. They continued that for 1 year before they'd go back. And let me show you some of the protocols, what an employee is supposed to do if they have COVID. They are protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act. That would, if you do have the symptoms, you need to self-isolate and follow the CDC recommended guidelines. If you're caring for somebody that you know has COVID-19 that has tested positive, then you should also go ahead and quarantine. You should stay away from people that are susceptible to COVID, and protect the people that you work with by doing this. The Department of Labor last year was protecting citizens that had COVID. They were putting them on medical leave with pay. Unfortunately, that ended December the 31st of 2020. And last year, when we were discussing actually this year, when they were discussing bringing back the council meetings for the citizens, even now, if you go in there during a council meeting, you'll see that the chairs are 6 feet apart and that the council sits away. And let's go ahead and bring that up. I'm going to go ahead and play the meeting. It's another example where Barry couldn't answer questions and that other people have to jump in and save him. And when Jim Hansen brought up bringing back the meetings, you can see Barry Broadhead and Adam Bourne Barry was at a loss for words, and Adam just looked worried.
I had one question. Due to the governor's reducing and relaxing restrictions due to the COVID situation and public gatherings, I want to move that we would go back to our normal in-person meetings in the second Tuesday of April, which will also be after the date that is anticipated that the governor will continue to release those restrictions. And I think that's the time we need to do that. I'd move that we would do that.
Okay. All right.
Do we need to make a motion for that, or?
I don't think so.
That was my question. I thought we might have made the motion when we went to the online. I thought we did, but I'm not sure that we did or not. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, I don't know that a motion is needed, but yeah.
Yeah.
We could just announce it. Maybe we just announce it. Maybe
Yeah.
I think you just do it in your posting for the next meeting if that's y'all's decision.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus as soon as we are able and the COVID restrictions are not in place, we will just that's what we will do.
Yeah. It's certainly an ever-changing situation, but it does seem to be improving significantly due to the vaccinations. So, but that makes sense to me.
Okay. Any other announcements?
Right after that, they went ahead and they brought this into play. And as you can see, Mary Broadhead requested council approve the city pay employees for absences due to the COVID-19 related illnesses. That was a great move. I think that was a fabulous way to take care of the people that take care of us, the employees here at Chickasaw. I was really happy to see that. And of course, it says pending Barry and the attorney's review. And I thought that was going to go through with no problem. And if anything would ever happen, they were being taken care of. When the Delta variant came out with the COVID, it was everyone was informed through social media, through the news, through every aspect that it was a nasty strand, that it was more contagious than the original virus that came out. And so, like I said, when they went ahead and put this through, it was awesome. I thought that was a really good move. And the good part about this is by doing this, they put some things into the play by the government, because back in March, I believe it was, they went ahead and decided to give federal aid to all the municipalities in Alabama and all the states. And then they broke it down to how much each city was going to get, how much each town was going to get. So whenever they said that they were going to take care of that, I figured this is where the money was going to come from that. This $1.06 million could also go to help getting us the generator that we need for our fire department and anything else that we may need to help our city and our citizens. And what I did was we went ahead and checked it out and found out that they weren't actually abiding by that, even though if they do help them with the PTO and everything, there are things that the government is doing to help them. That there are tax write-offs and stuff like that that they can use to help the cities pay the employees and stuff like that. We went to the last council meeting and we waited till the meeting was over. And after they adjourned, because we didn't want to interrupt the meeting, we were afraid we were going to get kicked out. So Will Smith was there again, and he went ahead and asked the council about that thing that the council said they were going to do with what do you call it, employees to help take care of them. And this is what happened.
Is there a motion to adjourn? I move. Second. Motion by Adam Bourne, second by J.R. Rawls. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank y'all for coming.
I have a question about the previous meeting. Were the payments for the COVID payments for the employees ever approved? It was motioned by Mr. Hanson, and it was supposed to be the approval of yourself and the city attorney. There was no follow-up.
Back in March, you guys approved a COVID for the employees, city employees.
Oh, that was COVID leave.
Right.
Extended COVID leave.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was extended.
We did approve that.
And that-
We did that for 90 extra days.
For 90 extra days. So that means that everyone that's had COVID, all the employees have been paid.
No, that's for COVID leave. If they became sick with COVID, they would be allowed.
They
to
said
leave.
yes.
So they didn't get any, there's no COVID pay for them if they got sick for the city, nothing. No reimbursement.
It says here in the minutes, paid city employees.
They would be paid leave if they became sick.
So all of them have had paid leave up to 90 days.
Not up to 90 days, during that 90-day period.
And once again, you can see that Jennifer White's had to come to Barry's rescue. This isn't something new. This has happened since before the election, where Will Smith had went and spoke with them, and Stewart and Jennifer White came up to him and was answering questions for Barry. You see during the discussion where Jim brought up bringing back the council meetings for the public to attend, Jennifer went ahead and jumped in there too to help Barry, and once again right here. Unfortunately, she was all over the place. We didn't get a real answer to the question. If you look back on March when they approved this motion, it's very, very vague compared to what they're saying now. It didn't have a time lapse of 90 days, 30 days, or anything. I know that my job and other jobs out here in the fire department for Mobile County and all those guys there, if they get sick, they have a certain amount of time where they do get paid leave once they test positive. Another thing you have to look at is it just isn't just if you test positive, okay? You have to look at the fact that if you are taking care of somebody that has COVID and you get around vulnerable people, even though the place might be sanitized and cleaned up, you're still carrying the COVID Delta with you. Unless you're taking care of somebody with gloves and gowns that you throw away and masks and all that kind of stuff, unless you protect yourself against that positive person, then you can possibly go around vulnerable people. But it's best to quarantine yourself as well, and definitely not go around anybody that's vulnerable. As you can see right here, Barry stating that 4 out of 6 staff members are in long-term absences due to COVID. Unfortunately, since I started doing this video, we have lost 2 of our employees here at Chickasaw. They were much loved. I remember going and seeing one of them all the time when I did. They were always helpful. They always helped us out. They were definitely an asset to our community and did an awesome job for our city. And my heart goes out to their families and friends because, unfortunately, like I said, they're no longer with us. I talked to a couple of the people to see if, while people were out with COVID, were they reimbursed? And I've been told no, they haven't been reimbursed for the sick days or anything like that. And I'm sure a lot of people know who I'm talking about as far as the two individuals. We also have another one that's still out. She's on oxygen, and we pray for her every day. So again, my heart goes out, my prayers to the families of all COVID victims that have lost their loved ones. I just think that we need to be more diligent, and instead of being reactive, we need to be proactive when it comes to this. As of right now, City Hall has been closed down due to staffing shortages and for some of our staff members that do have COVID, according to the City of Chickasaw's post that they put on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And once again, this month, I guess you'd call it, I usually do a pillow talk, so this is my pillow talk to our city leaders. As a leader of a community, your job is to serve your community. It doesn't say just serve the people that agree with you or the people that support you. It's everybody, okay? The lack of communication between the public and our council is disgusting. It really is. There's no reason why you can't talk with us or allow us to voice our opinions. Our city council meetings are between 10 and 15 minutes long, mostly because you guys have already discussed the topics that you guys are going to bring up and have already decided on what the decision is. Again, in 1 year, nobody on the council has disagreed when it comes to a vote. Everything's been passed with a yay. Not one disagreement, and that's not right. You need diversity. You need people to say, hey, look, can we try this way? And that's something that's not happening. Ruling with an iron fist is not the way to run a community, but it's your term for the next 4 years. We got to do what we got to do. Again, I wish it was different. I wish that you as leaders would pull the community together, because that's another one of your jobs. It's one of the things that you guys said whenever you were going to go into office, that you were going to bring unity back to Chickasaw. If that means you have to blackball people, if that means you have to get involved in lawsuits and corruption and all that kind of stuff, hey, that's on you. But again, there are people in this community that like being a part of it, that like to donate their time and like to help, and with no recognition and being shunned from the community. And it's your city leaders doing it, it's wrong. It's just straight up wrong. God bless Chickasaw, and God bless all my neighbors.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Dang, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays.
Now I see you in a better place.
See you in a better place.
How could we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go watch
your way, and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship, and friendship turn to a bond, and the bond will never be broken, and love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone.
When I'm gone,
When I'm gone.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last
so
ride.
let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.